Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Clifton3D, and today is Sunday. And what we do every Sunday is we read two chapters in the Bible, today being Genesis chapter 34 and 35. But before we get into this, from last week's episode, someone on Twitter responded and basically gave me the Jewish text and translated it for me and said that the translation of the Bible got some things wrong, and this is what he came up with. All right, so this is a three-part tweet that I was given. It reads, the translation of "I've seen God face to face" gives the wrong impression. In the Hebrew text, it uses the word Elohim for God. That word does not always mean God, as in the big guy in Genesis 20:13, Abraham is called Elohim. Look, I don't know. I'm taking the word, I'm just reading what this guy's putting out. So let's go on to part two. So part two of three, the more limited Greek of the Septuagint, which should have translated this as daemon, or similar in Greek, has the same meaning as the English by using theos, or God, and obscures the meaning of the Hebrew. Part 3 is coming next. Part 3, I'm not even going to attempt to read this. Jacob wrestled with a supernatural, powerful being that was not an angel and not God. It is akin to the lower level of the gods in the pantheons of the people of the region. Look, I don't know what to think about this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think that this is a correct translation? I mean, it could be. I honestly don't know. But without any more delay, let's get into these two chapters for today. As always, we are reading the King James Online Study Bible, Genesis chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her, and lay with her, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrathfully in Israel, in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give him to wife. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get your possessions therein. And Shesem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his fathers, deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach to us. But in this we will consent unto you, if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the houses of his father. And Hamor and Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us, or to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. All their wealth, and all their little ones, and all their wives, took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to sink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I begin few in number. They shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sisters as with an harlot? So, the middle of this chapter, I was thinking, like, okay, they want all the males to be circumcised. They're going to trick Shesem and his father into, just lopping it off completely. And, but it turned much more bloody than that. Now, you know, I I kind of understand. Like if someone would do this to my sister, I would probably, have a similar reaction. Now, I wouldn't go and uh slay a complete city of innocent people who actually had nothing to do with it. I would, concentrate on the person who did do it. And in this case, perhaps the father, because the father was, like, yeah, look, nothing happened. We're great, right? Yeah, everything's good. Give us your daughters, we'll give us our daughters and stuff. So I, I don't think I would have gone that far, but I do kind of understand it. But I also understand Jacob in this case. Like, look, we said that we would, do this if they circumcised, and, everything, would work out the way we see fit. To then just turn around and just murder everyone, really. I mean, this is we have to call it what it is. It's murder. It is murder. Like, there's no getting around that. Um, but let me know down in the comments below, what did you think of this chapter? If you or your daughter was Dinah, would you want your sons or your brothers to do this in your honor, basically? Let me know. I would be interested in knowing that. Anyway, on to chapter 35. Genesis chapter 35. And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak, which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were around about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called upon the place El Bethel, because their God appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alambachut. The God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Pandaramam, and blessed him. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thee thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spoke with him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have his son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way of Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave, unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Ishkar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zillah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Pandaram. And Jacob came unto Isaac, his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. So this was chapter 35 of Genesis. Very interesting. Jacob returns to his father, to Esau, and Rachel dies in childbirth, and Isaac dies, getting older. So it's closing one chapter and opening up the next, basically. This is the perfect chapter for that, I suppose. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this chapter. Let me know what you think of both chapters and of the snippet at the beginning of this video. Let me know. I would like to know your thoughts on it. Anyway, I wish you all a great Sunday, a blessed Sunday. Thank you for stopping by, and until next time, take care.